While all children are likely to have brief periods of poor sleep when they're ill, during periods of stress, or during holidays, research indicates that half of all children with special needs experience some kind of chronic sleep difficulty. Children learn best, feel best, and are least accident prone when they have enough sleep. Children who do not get enough sleep may be difficult to awaken in the morning, may be frequently irritable or easily frustrated, or may fall asleep during playtime or dinner. This is a workshop to help you understand some of the reasons for poor sleep and to suggest ways to help overcome the problem.
Why do children find it difficult to sleep? There are a number of reasons. Children's anxiety around separating from their parents is most acute around 12 months of age and reoccurs periodically after that. As a result of this separation anxiety, children may not want parents to leave the room at bedtime or nap time. Children may show an occasional preference for receiving comfort from one parent or another. Bedtime routines may be more difficult for the other parent during those times. Power struggles are common from 18 months on as children express their independence. Some children try to show their independence by resisting going to bed. Nightmares, fears of the dark, and imaginary monsters are especially strong for children between the ages of 2 and 6 years. After a nightmare, children may resist going back to sleep and may need extra reassurance in order to do so. Tactile sensitivity is common in autism spectrum disorder. Some children can't seem to sleep with pajamas on, while others have to have them on even in the hottest weather. Other children require a heavy blanket, which is weighed down with pockets of beans instead of down, and others like the feeling of being tightly wrapped in a close-fitting sleeping bag. For children with this kind of tactile sensitivity, it is necessary to first figure out what best meets their tactile needs before trying out the suggestions we will talk about later.
There are a number of other reasons children may resist going to sleep, including they don't want to end the day's fun, they are unable to relax without help, they don't recognize they are tired, they want more time with the parent, especially if the parent works outside the home. They worry about daycare, school, friends, or other problems in their lives.
Developing a consistent bedtime routine, one that happens every night, is an important way to help children prepare themselves to sleep. Here's one routine. First, give your child a 5 to 10 minute warning before a bedtime routine begins to allow him to finish what he is doing. Second, have a regular bedtime routine of between 30 minutes and 1 hour. It should include a warm bath, brushing teeth, going to the toilet, reading a book to your child, quiet singing, a relaxing massage, gentle music tapes, finger games, warm milk, and walking in your arms. Even if bedtime has been delayed for some reason, go through the same rituals to help your child learn what is expected of him when it comes to going to bed. This is especially true for a child with autism, as varying their routine can sometimes result in a tantrum. Often it helps to use a picture board to show each step of the routine sequentially in pictures so your child knows exactly what to do next. It's important for you to direct the bedtime routine. Your child may have a say as to what activities should be included in these routines, or what pajamas to wear, or what story he wants to hear, but don't allow his choices to drag out the routine so it becomes longer and longer and delays bedtime. It is important to remember that, in this and other suggestions, your firmness is not unkindness. Children need and want their parents to make rules that are necessary for them and to enforce them. Your child's opposition is an attempt to force you to lay down consistent rules and stand by them.
Here's a game to help motivate your child to get ready for bed. It's called Beat the Clock. First, set a timer for 15 minutes before your bedtime routine begins to let your child know bedtime will be here soon. When the timer rings the first time, set it again for 30 or 45 minutes. You'll use this time to get him ready for bed. If your child finishes the routine and beats the timer, he gets to stay up for an extra 30 minutes of quiet play with you. If he doesn't, don't take away any privileges, just put him to bed. Use pictures to help your child know what is coming next. A lot of parents wonder whether they should allow their child to sleep in their bed. There is nothing wrong with your child sleeping in your bed from time to time. However, if he's there every night because it's the only way he can fall asleep, then leaving him there may not be such a good idea. Here's why. He does not gain self-confidence that he can sleep by himself. You or your partner may become angry at the intrusion. Your child's movements may make it impossible for you to sleep well. And if it forces you or your partner to get up and leave as a result of your child being in your bed, your child may feel too powerful. He is controlling you, and this can be very disturbing to a child. There are a number of things you can do to help your child sleep alone. Here are some steps to take. First, try to make sure all his needs have been attended to before bedtime, so he is comfortable and there's no reason to get out of bed. Make sure your child has given everyone hugs and kisses. Your child may like to have a night light on, the door slightly open, or a drink of water, or a favorite item such as a stuffed animal. Then, leave the room while your child is still awake so he learns to settle himself. Don't return to your child's room each time he calls out or cries. If you give in to his bedtime requests, he will learn that bedtime is not really bedtime. If your child persists in calling out, try the following. First, wait before answering. Give him the opportunity to fall asleep on his own. If you do enter his room, give little attention and don't stay too long. Don't scold or punish, just be reassuring and calm. Again, leave before he falls asleep so he learns to fall asleep on his own. Finally, move further from your child's bed every time you give reassurance, until you can do it verbally without actually entering the room. If your child has very strong anxieties about being left alone at night, here's an alternative suggestion. First, begin by bedding down for the night on a couch or mattress on the floor near his crib or bed. Your presence will reassure him. Each time he wakes up, he'll look, see you there, and reassured, will go back to sleep. If he cries out for you to come to his bed, reassure him, but stay put until he falls asleep. Then, on successive nights, gradually move the couch or mattress you are lying on further away from his bed until it is in the hallway, out of his room completely. Finally, slowly move the mattress back until you are sleeping in your own bedroom. Expect some protest as you move further and further away, but remain firm as you complete this separation process. If your child leaves his room after you've put him to bed, you may want to put a gate in the doorway of his room. If he cries out or protests, you can reassure him by going back to the doorway briefly after increasing intervals. But don't let yourself be drawn into conversations or actually go into the room. If your child climbs over the gate, put him back to bed every time he does so. Do not reprimand him. Leave as soon as he's lying down again. Expect that he may get up over and over again many nights in a row. However, if you remain calm and consistent, eventually he should realize there's no point in fighting with you.
If your child continues to have trouble falling asleep or staying asleep, you might want to try a more structured sleep program. Here's one example. If your child cries and protests after you say goodnight and leave his room, follow this schedule of bedroom visits to reassure your child. First, go into your child's bedroom after 2 minutes of protest for 15 to 20 seconds. Put him back in his usual sleeping position. Make sure he's not wet. Gently stroke him and say something reassuring. Mommy loves you, but it's bedtime, before leaving the room again. Do not pick up or comfort your child, as this will make it harder for your child to learn to comfort and soothe himself so he can fall asleep on his own. If your child continues to cry, return to the bedroom on subsequent visits after 5 minutes, then after 10, 15, 20, and 30 minutes. Continue to go back every 30 minutes if your child is still crying until he falls asleep. An alternative method for helping your child fall asleep is called the Bedtime Fading Program. To find out more about this program, go to Articles in the Learn section of Connectability. You will find it under Sleep Program Appendix. Think about what you can do before your child's bedtime to help things go more smoothly. Cut down on caffeine and sugar. Avoid colas or chocolate, especially from the afternoon on, and avoid sugary snacks or snacks with additives near bedtime. Talk to your doctor about any medications your child is taking. Some medications have a stimulatory effect and make it harder for children to settle down to sleep or sleep through the night. Exercise should be an important part of your child's day, but not too close to bedtime. If your child doesn't seem tired at night and takes a nap during the day, either cut out the nap or cut it down to 30 to 60 minutes. Also, don't allow your child to sleep in later than usual. This will make it difficult to go to sleep at night. Make sure there is a quiet period before bed. Active play just before bedtime can leave children excited and hinders their ability to fall asleep. Make sure your child's curtains or blinds don't admit too much light so that he wakes up too early in the morning. And check the bedroom temperature. It should be neither too hot or too cold. Consider soft music or the soothing sounds of an air filter or fan, bubbling fish tank, or recording of waves to block out background noise that might disturb your child. Allow your child to take a favorite teddy bear, doll, toy, or special blanket to bed each night. Finally, help your child release his physical tension by stretching and relaxing his body in a variety of fun ways, such as breathing in and filling his belly up like a balloon, slowly raising his arms and legs one at a time as if they are very heavy, and then letting them drop back down quickly, or wrinkling and then relaxing his face. If you find, after following the suggestions we have talked about, your child is still having difficulty settling down to sleep, you may want to keep a sleep diary. A sleep diary will enable you to see any unusual patterns of sleep so you can tell where further changes should be made. A typical sleep diary will ask you to note the following: the date, the time the child was put to bed, the time he fell asleep, nighttime wakenings, the time he woke up, and naps. Keep track of these items for a period of at least 2 weeks to determine patterns of sleep. To find a sample sleep diary, go to Articles under the Learn section of Connectability under Sleep Program Appendix. Using your sleep diary, you will be able to tell the average number of hours your child sleeps on a good night when he wakes up feeling rested. This is called his optimal sleep time. Then you'll decide on a wake-up time that gives him enough time to get ready for daycare or school. For instance, 7:30 a.m. Finally, subtract the optimal sleep time, let's say for example 10 hours, from your designated wake-up time. The result is 9:30 p.m., and that becomes your child's bedtime.
I would like to end with a word of caution. If your child remains highly upset despite your repeated efforts to deal with his sleep difficulties, consult your doctor or an early childhood professional. Consider getting help for your child if he has sleep problems after you've tried a sleep program faithfully for 1 month or longer. If he is very sensitive and becomes upset over whatever you do to try to get him to sleep, or if he shows any signs of a medical problem or physical condition that you think might be interfering with his sleep. And you may wish to consider getting help for yourself if you have difficulty following through with a sleep plan once you create one, or if you are negatively affected by your child's sleep habits, for example, exhaustion, anger, or disagreements with a partner. Keep in mind, too, that your most effective allies in parenthood are patience, calm, and determination. You will need these qualities to help your child let go and to trust that what you are doing to resolve your child's sleep problems are right for him. We hope you have found this workshop helpful. May you and your child have sweet dreams in the nights ahead.